Yeah, we can begin. So who is going to start? Who's going to do the introduction? I guess I will cordial invite everyone. So thank you for coming, and thank you for dedicating time. And all of you are busy, and we are really astonished with the fact that such distinguished guests agree to share with us a business experience, your life story, how you evolve as a business person. Without further ado, I would just ask you to introduce yourself. Maybe we'll start with Anna. Anna, the floor is yours. Please say a few sentences of background and how you built your story, etc.
Okay. Please. Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Anna Hawryluk, and I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to share my journey from working in the corporate world to becoming the founder and CEO actually of my own company, Professionals Group. I hope my story will be interesting, especially to those of you thinking about venturing into entrepreneurship, which is kind of interesting way on the professional path that you can choose. What I can say, I lead a consultancy and advisory firm, which is renowned from the recruitment, HR advisory, talent acquisition, and overall HR support. Our expertise is actually to help companies looking for talented people to hire them. And this is not only in Poland locally, but we also cooperate with global companies. What is interesting is that we started with IT. So actually, when we built our company 5 years ago, our main focus was around IT people and IT specialists. However, now what we do is much bigger and much broader. Also, last year we have created a solution, which is a unique platform called Crowd Hunter. So we actually changed a little bit our way of work, and we turned into HR tech sector by launching a Crowd Hunter platform. This is the platform that promotes referrals and collaboration among recruitment agencies, recruiters, freelancers, companies, and candidates. I hope during the course of today's panel, I will be also able to share some details of my story, how I became entrepreneur from my corporate work and actually working in banking for 15 years as a compliance officer and actually a lawyer. So thank you so much. This is a short introduction. I hope I will be able to tell you something more later on.
Lovely, thank you. Now, Ella, please share with us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Anna, I was very happy to hear your introduction because I have a similar story. I thought that I will be the only one telling a story about starting a business later in life, but good to see that I'm not the only one. Okay, so my name is Ella Szczepaniak. I'm co-founder of a company that is called Revas Business Simulation Games, and we create business games. This is an online software that allows students to run virtual companies. And thanks to this, they learn about business in a very practical way. And also, they can see what running a business is about to make an informed decision if they want to run one in the future, or this is something that they don't feel yet. So this, my journey started, my business journey started after working 10 years at the university teaching business. And this is the time it took me to finally gather all the experience that I need, find the right idea, and find the right partners. Because if we have IT students here, what may be interesting is that our business has 3 partners. 2 of us are economists, and 1 is IT specialist who programmed the whole platform and all our products. So it may be interesting for you to know how to find good partners for you, to find the ones that have complementary skills, so that the business really have all the aspects covered. Okay, so that's enough for the introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is really amazing. And now, Szymon, please.
Pleasure to chat with future entrepreneurs. I started super early when I was 21. Ran the company for 12 years. Turned 50,000 of investment into annual revenue exceeding a couple of mil. Then my path turned into corporate world. So I used to work in a couple of corporations. Then set up my own startup and failed. Unfortunately, it was travel startup during the COVID-19 era. I know it's painful. It still exists. Have a partner in Czech Republic that we are trying to kind of collaboratively make it work again. Instead of talking about myself, I have to tell all the students that are with the professor that I really enjoy talking with future entrepreneurs, listening to their ideas, challenging their ideas, and you know, maybe even adding something to their ideas. So love chatting with young entrepreneurs. Thanks.
Thank you, Szymon. Interaction indeed is very, very important. That's correct. Yeah. Marcin, please.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm very happy to interact with you as an alumni of the Catholic University of Lublin. I'm a Ph.D. of philosophy actually after this university. So I have a background in the academic sector, private sector, and public sector. Currently, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I work at the City Hall's unit dedicated to supporting investors, predominantly established companies which want to expand their business in the vicinity of Lublin. So we provide a sort of one-stop support, being the middleman for any entrepreneur or potential entrepreneur who wants to locate their business in the city. I would just want to point out that we also, as we are a strategy department, we do a lot of, let's say, ahead of the curve initiatives. One of those was an initiative that I started still as an NGO called Lublin Global Community, the purpose of which was to bring together foreigners, among others foreign students, with local business people, basically to, on the one hand, basically to network them, help the foreigners to get a foothold in the city and open up the minds of the local business environment.
Thank you. Being philosopher in business can be very beneficial. Many philosophers, we need more philosophers in business. Thank you for this. Thank you for introducing yourself. And now we'll enter the core of our meeting. You're already familiar with the questions or maybe some outlines of our discussion. And the first round will start with a question: what does it mean to you to be entrepreneur? How you feel about it? What are the main assets, taking into account your own experience? What do you think about entrepreneurship skills? What worked for you? What was challenging for you? If you can share this very personal experience with us, that would be certainly very helpful and eye-opening. So we'll start the same way we did, beginning with Anna.
Sure. Thank you for this question. I think it's very important, and I think that there are many definitions. There could be many definitions of entrepreneurship, actually, but I like the way of thinking in two ways about it. To me, entrepreneurship is a set of characteristics that are possessed by people who are, taking the initiative in action. Of course, there is also a field of economic activity talking about taking initiative to create new jobs, establish businesses, and so on, right? So in economics, entrepreneurship means the ability to, improve one's idea, striving to find the best way of the situation, and so on. So I like to think about it in this way, because as my career started in a corporate world, and then through my entire corporate life, which was around 15 years, I see right now that the most important thing is to see those skills and those characteristics that are part of you. And then you can utilize them to find maybe about other solutions and other ways to lead your professional career and professional life, right? Because when I started my career, it was like many of you might, right? Working within various corporate structures. My experience was around, deep understanding of businesses, business operations, client relations, marketing, product creation, processes needed from the business, but also operational part and also IT part. So I was happy to be in the middle of it, because I was a compliance officer looking at regulations which are touching each and every part of the organization, right? So I was happy enough to be in the middle of it. So my skill that was utilized at that time, when I'm looking at this right now from this point of view right now, it was about, analytical thinking, for example, right? Digging into the issue, trying to understand what works well, what is not working well for the organization or for the process. So it was my soft skill that right now I think was very crucial for me when I thought that maybe it's now time to do my own business. So 15 years in the financial industry, it gave me a lot of experiences, a really fantastic time in my professional life, great opportunity to learn and grow. But to be honest, one day, after implementing another big project, because usually I was dealing with big regulatory projects, dealing with different countries, different cultures, it was really amazing story. But one day after implementing another big project, I started to feel the need to redefine my professional path, right? And this feeling was constantly growing in me. I knew I was successful, but I refrained from saying it is a success. From one side, I loved my job, but I didn't feel happy in it, right? So it was kind of a paradox that I couldn't understand at the beginning. And finally, I decided to change the industry and the way I live. I wanted to have, I think it might be useful just to share a little bit of my personal story, just to understand also the reasons why I did what I did. So I wanted to have more flexibility in what I do. That's one thing. More flexibility of with whom I do my business operations on a daily basis and how, right? This has led me to think about, different business opportunities. It was the time when also my kids were very small. So I even thought it might be a great idea to start my own kindergarten, for example, right? The preschool. I started with definition of strengths, my skills, right? I did some researches on my skill set. I knew I like to work with people. I like some challenges. I like to organize things. I like organize events. I like to plan. And I had also some teaching and lecturing experience. And my feeling was that I really like to be responsible for end-to-end projects. Another idea that I had was, to start with my own restaurant, etc. But of course, I had plenty of let's say, ideas. But to make the story short, I think it was the very important moment in my life, like a breaking point, when I started to think that I really need to do something on my own, right? Like end-to-end projects that I was completing, being a part of the corporate world, but I started to feel that I need to do something right now on my own. So I started to, testing, checking, looking for opportunities, talking to people who were doing what I was considering to do, right? I was reading inspirational books, attending webinars, networking was also important part of it. So I was looking for inspiration everywhere. So to make this long story short, I was checking different possibilities, looking for opportunities and being just open for what this world can offer me. So looking at, the business world and thinking, what can I do to utilize my previous experience and knowledge, right? Because I don't want it just to, start everything from the scratch and just close the previous chapter. I asked myself what I can do and what can give me the satisfaction of my professional career path. And this led me to the place where I'm now, right? From the career in banking to career in entrepreneurship and my own company. And to be honest, I'm really happy of what I'm doing right now. Because I utilize all my skill set that I utilized being a part of the corporate world, right? And this is what I'm trying to say, that even if you start your path in a different way, maybe with something which is not really 100% okay for you, just by being open for another opportunities, but looking at your strengths, your skills, and building on those strengths, it might lead you to another fantastic role in another corporation, another organization, or it can lead you to start your own company. This was my story. And actually, by this story, I wanted to show you all the skills that I believe are really important for the entrepreneurship, being an open person, right? Trying to look for opportunities, network with other people, learn all the time by, talking to people, looking and checking the opportunities that you have. This is to me about being an entrepreneur, actually, because what I'm doing right now, this is not the end point, right? Maybe in the future I will be doing something else, but also on my own. Maybe it will lead me to another organization that I will create or another product that I will create. But just being open, talking to people, being inspired also by other people and looking for support from other people is also something which is important on this path. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this in a nutshell. It's really energizing, and you demonstrated the entire process in a way, how to transform dreams into reality and how to contemplate on options and opportunities and just follow them. Thank you. So now, Ella, your turn.
Thank you. What I wanted to share about my view of entrepreneurship is to say that because very often people connect entrepreneurship with running a business. So the word has the direct connotation with being an entrepreneur. But I think that being entrepreneurial is very important. It does not mean running a business. Being entrepreneurial means a lot of the things that Anna mentioned. It's looking for opportunities, is being open, being active, curious about things, finding opportunities and acting on the ones that you feel are good for you. So for me, being entrepreneurial, you can be entrepreneurial anytime, anywhere. You can be an entrepreneurial student, you can be entrepreneurial working for a corporation. How I see also my experience, because I used to work at the university, I was a business lecturer. So I could have stopped there, write the articles, run the lectures and stop there. But I was always thinking about, okay, what else can we do? Well, what else is there to learn? What else is there to do that is fun? We started a business club with our students, and we started thinking, okay, so what do we do today? Okay, let's start a podcast, or let's write a project for an international exchange, or let's do an interview with an entrepreneur from our city. And we kept doing lots of different things, which for most of the time they were either fun or, to be honest, they were also additional salary. So it was not only to have more fun, but they taught me lots of things that were useful later on in business. I didn't know it then. So when we run the business club with students, I didn't know that we will organize events, and organizing events will be an important skill for me later on in business. So, and also looking at the opportunities allowed us, me and my partners, to find the right business idea, because we found a number of ideas. Because for 10 years, we knew that me and my partners, we were working in the same department, and we knew that we are going to start a business someday. But we did not know yet what the business will be. So almost every day in the morning, there was a brainstorming. Okay, so what can we do? What can we do? What type of business can we start? And we had a number of ideas. So we looked for the opportunities. So we looked around and found problems that we could solve, and then have an honest discussion with ourselves. Is this a good thing for us? Can we make money on that? We made some Excel calculations, and lots of the ideas we said, no, that's not for us. That's not the time. That's not the right place. We don't feel it. And we had to wait for the right one to come. So summing up what I said, for me, being entrepreneurial means being curious about the world, because in this way you can spot the problems that you can fix with your product. It's talking to people, networking. It's also having some analytical thinking, planning, decision making, because these are the things that are very important in the business. So if you looking at this, the set of skills, I think it's very important for you being a student right now to do as many things as possible in terms of learning and engaging in a number of projects, because you never know which skills will be useful for you in the future.
Thank you, Ella. It's also very unique that you turn from a theoretical business and teaching into being a practitioner, which does not happen so often. And that also means that your success proves that your teaching was great, apparently. Now, Szymon.
So from my perspective, being an entrepreneur is a mindset. Basically, you can be, as the ladies here mentioned, you can be a student and an entrepreneur. You could be entrepreneur within the corporation. It's all about the mindset. But if we have students here, so basically you will start your entrepreneurial journey like in a couple of months, years. So it's gonna be early stage. You need to remember that people need to like you, right? So you have to be likable. Otherwise, the people that will open the doors for you will shut them down. Secondly, you need to be coachable. Because if you will get, for example, if you get an investor, they will have their expectations. They will bring to the table some intelligence, some resources. So you need to be coachable. You need to have laser sharp focus. I love it when I'm talking with young entrepreneurs and they're like, I have 7 ideas, right? Come back when you have 1, right? Because then you cannot work on 7 ideas. In my opinion, prioritization of your tasks is also crucial. The day, 24 hours. Then you're effective for what, 5, 6 if you're lucky. So make sure that you finish the crucial ones first when your brain is fully operating. and then start with those close to automatic tasks later on, and always try to seize the opportunity. Exchange the ideas with other folks, because this is the way that, like when you are talking about the business models, the monetization of your business, right? There might be somebody that will provide you with an idea that can totally transform your idea from something that is okay, like we need this, but we won't pay for this, to something unique. So that would be my couple of tips. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing the crucial role of focus, planning, and prioritizing. Sometimes we are overwhelmed with so much information, so many concepts, and following one is better than contemplating the 10.
And if one more thing, Professor, if I can add, take care of your body, right? If you feel you are overwhelmed, go cycling. Go for a walk in the forest. Stuff will click in your mind, right? Do nothing for a while, because then if you forget about it, the quality of your work will drop significantly. So make sure you have some time for your body as well.
Yeah, lifestyle and well-being. Thank you for emphasizing this. We sometimes forgot, and we can go as far as our body allows us to, but we don't care, then no business continuation, right? Marcin, can you add something to it?
Okay. I may add, because I used to work as a product manager in a startup. It was foreigner owned, so I observed, let's say, from very close up how the process of starting a company looked like, and also now on a daily basis I'm in contact with various entrepreneurs and managers, and what I can maybe add, although in particular Szymon had quite succinct bullet points, is that entrepreneurship, from my view, is mixing fire and water, because you have to be confident on the outside, but humble and really open towards reality on the inside. You have to be open towards opportunities, but you need to prioritize and choose things very well. And what I may add additionally, such a thought, is that your business pitch has to be something that you can summarize in a sentence or two, but it has to be a summary of idea, let's say, as you would say in the Canvas model, a value proposition that is difficult to replicate. Because if your idea is something that can be very easily replicable, it's something that it's not worth that much. So I guess in your case, since most of you have the skill set which is outside the business model, it's very useful that you have some sort of a product or solution that either yourself or with a partner you are developing, and which you can modify. That's why the humility is important. So you can't be mad at reality, or in particular at customers, that they don't like your product or solution. You have to be open to modify this, even if you are not happy about it. You have to take this with a smile and then simply rework it. And what was said about likability, this is also important. And a certain level of experience in the business that you are trying to open is also important. So probably most of you will be IT people, but and maybe start IT startups. But for anyone else, if you want to be owner of a restaurant, it's good to work for a while as a waiter and to see everything, how everything works from the inside.
Thank you, Marcin. This is a great description of a business landscape and pattern of growth. Also, in a nutshell, like a ready recipe, bullet points. Thanks a lot for this. All of you shared something essential. Because of limited time, I know that you can speak and expand and explore more and more, but this also comes from gut feeling. We can sense this, that this is speaking through experience and through a real life story, not some theoretical idea. So we'll move to a third component, third aspect, and if you could add and speak a little bit more how it looks from your perspective. And the question is, what work experience do you find valuable or crucial before starting your own business? In a way, you answered somewhat to this question, but if you could bring us more details, what's worth trying before deciding to work on your own business? Maybe there are some specific suggestions in particular in IT area, but of course IT does not work alone. IT is responding to different needs for different solutions and products on a market, or even expanding different ideas. So if you could, maybe disclose what you think about it, would be very valuable to us, please. Again, we'll start with Anna.
Okay, thank you for this question. I think that it's really important to understand, at least it was important to me, to understand that whatever you do, if you are looking at your skill set and what type of skills you can develop by doing something, it will be always valuable experience. So when I thought what might be a good advice for students, because I wish to know everything what I know right now, being a student, like 20 years ago. And I think that I could be in a better position to start something on my own even earlier. But if I decided to start with the corporate work as I did, but being more, let's say, being more focused on developing some skills, I would be better for sure in what I'm doing right now. So that's why I wanted to share with you some advices and how to look at everything you do from the perspective of the skill set and how you can grow. So first of all, I think that working in a startup, if you can start with some kind of internship, for example, right, in a startup organization, it will give you kind of a first-hand, experience on how business is built from the scratch, from the beginning. As of course, in each and every organization, even if this is a startup, it is all around building an organization with business, product, IT, operations, all the processes that are, connecting every day. For sure, it will give you an understanding and the real feeling of such skills like multitasking, kind of adaptability, right? Because in a startup environment, every day might be really different, right? So adaptability to the change, that is really a constant thing in such environment. Problem solving and understanding from the business side how to build a startup. So that is one thought that I have around startups. But you may also start to work for a corporation, for the larger organization, and I think that the corporate setting on the large scale may be also very important to to experience, even if you are a student and you just want to check how it works, because working in a corporation, it gave me like an insight into structured business operations, right? It will expose you to something which I call like advanced business model and business practices, right? Usually corporations have lots of procedures, have lots of regulations, not only regulations coming from outside world, I mean, regulators, but also internal regulations that you need to follow. So by doing this, you can check if that's something that you really like or not. For sure, it will give you like insight into the strategic planning, for example, depending, of course, on your role in the organization, but you can also observe others in the team. You can also observe your manager, right? Or even the leader of the entire organization. And then you can, by observing some skills that this person or these people have, you can also learn. Maybe what would be also important to observe is around resource relocation, right? Or location itself, like building the teams. So because when you will start your own business, of course, you will be building your team, you will be hiring people, right? So that's also important to see from the other perspective. If you decide maybe to do some sales or customer service role, it's also very important, I think, because then you will learn how to do great customer experience, right? What type of process, what type of product, how to build this product to make sure that the client at the end is really excited about the product, right? It will give you also some insights about marketing and so on and so forth. So I was thinking that either you will choose the way and to the path to go and look how it looks from the startup perspective or the bigger corporation. It doesn't matter. Just please think from the perspective of transferable skills that you will learn, and then you can utilize those skills. I like the word transferable skills. Actually, this is the subject that I really love, because every time, whatever you learn, you can then transfer to the other role, to the other organization, or to your own company if you decide to do so. Thank you. I don't want to be, I could like talk forever about this. It's a subject which is really exciting to me. So, but I stop here.
Yeah, this is very inspiring. Good that you decided to share this extensively. And I think the idea to begin a career with a startup, if possible, has a great advantage because it's like a living business laboratory where you can learn both how to make a success and sometimes how to fail. And that's also should not be discouraging. It's just an experience. Thank you. Ella, please share with us your perspective.
Okay, thank you. So what I would like to highlight here is that I think it's very important for each of you to try to feel what running a business is like before you decide to start one. It could be done in a few ways. It can be done, as Anna mentioned, it could be done through working for a startup. It could be done through working for any company and seeing how it works from the inside. It can be done through internships. It could be done also using simulation games. This is my area of expertise, so I will just tell you one story, because when I run simulation games, and so this is like a business course with students, and I talk to them about what they think business is like, they tend to have a very wrong idea. They see lots of startup competitions. They see startups winning money. They see startups having coffee with investors. Nobody shows the hard work in the startup. So they see all the benefits. They don't really see all the hard work that is behind it. And when we play the game, so we simulate a company, they run virtual companies for a number of virtual months, and they take managerial decisions. And when we start the course, I often ask them, okay, so who would like to start their own business? And almost everyone, because it's kind of sexy to have your own business. And then when I ask them the same question at the end, like lots of hands goes down. Oh, no, I don't want to have the business now. Because what students realize is that, okay, it's stressful. There are so many decisions to be made. There are so many problems. There are always problems in business. So if the simulated business overwhelms you, it may not be the best time for you to start the business. What I want to make clear is that not everybody needs to run a business, okay? It's a very nice path to go to, but it's not obligatory for everyone. So don't feel at any point maybe obliged to start a business. You can be happy working full-time for any corporation or any kind of company. So if possible, try to make sure that you understand what the business is like. So as the example of the restaurant. So if you want to run a restaurant, go and work for the restaurant. And if you see the chaos there, because it's usually, at least from the outside, it looks very chaotic. And if you feel that it's too stressful for you, then don't start a restaurant, okay? Because what we want to maybe help you understand is, are you in the place to start a business now or not? This is not the time yet. Let's work for somebody, start a team, go for internship. Wait, because at some point you may decide, okay, yes, this is the right time. So my experience shows that don't rush. I spent 10 years getting to the right place because I needed to gather that experience. And coming back to so you have three ways of finding out. So like a simulation course, internship, or working for a company before you start a business. But also when you, as a student, what you can do is to work with different groups. And engage in many projects, because project work allows you to see if you're likable, if people like working with you. Also, as Anna mentioned, you will be building your own teams in any career path probably. So this is the type of experience that will be very, very useful for you. You can also find a partner there, especially if you engage in a project with not only your IT friends, but also other from other fields. And since you are English-speaking students, you're not all Poles, as I was informed. So for you, working with different cultures, so international communication will be very important. How to work with Poles, how to work with other cultures, because that will be something that you will definitely come across.
Yeah, you mentioned several important aspects, and I think a great piece of advice is listening. I read this in between lines from what you said. Listening to your inner voice and experiencing first, getting exposed before making decisions. This is the wise way to go. Thank you. Szymon.
So I'm gonna go the opposite way. As I mentioned at the very beginning, my entrepreneurship started at the age of 21. And you, Anna, said that you would do stuff differently if you knew what you know right now. I caught myself thinking about similar stuff, and I'm thinking if it wouldn't block me. You know what I mean? Like sometimes too much experience, if you know too much how stressful, how exhausting, and not always rewarding running the business is. Sometimes it's better not to know that at the very beginning. Just make sure at the start of your journey that you won't bankrupt your family, right? That's crucial, because they will be your friends, fools, family, investors. So make sure you don't bankrupt nobody. And to be honest, I jumped into like, so when I started my journey, I created 10 offices with 33 employees in the course of 6 months, right? So I had to learn everything on the go. If you're afraid to experiment and have some failures, that's a red flag that you're not a fit for entrepreneur, because you will fail often. But if you don't learn from those failures, then it's not for you. You need to have leadership skills. So you need to take ownership of the mistakes. Like you are like when you're entrepreneur, everybody within the organization looks at you. So if you are strong, if you take responsibility for the mistakes, if you are mentoring others, that's something that will give the confidence to the rest of the team. If they perceive you as somebody who is weak, who doesn't know what she does, then it's an obvious red flag and something that you should work on. So that's my experience.
Thank you. So in other words, balancing between the courage and awareness of a risk and just go ahead. That's a good idea either. Yeah. Marcin, if you can add to this.
So I'll give one positive and one negative. The positive is that in order to engage into any meaningful business or professional activity after you graduate, you should make meaningful friends, because usually once you go into university, there are people with various motivations, but when you join a student organization, in particular like the student government or like at KUL there is I think psychology of management or psychology of marketing organization, which I remember back in the day used to be filled with very active entrepreneurial people, which I know currently those are people who are running smaller, bigger businesses. So to make these sort of contacts, because as it was said, you need to have some people to be your wingmen or wingwomen at the start who can help you out. And the more, let's say, transdisciplinary this is, the better. And in particular for people with the hard technical skills, it's good to have these contacts with the people who can help you out on the marketing or HR issues. That's, let's say, the positive thing, because if you yourself, you know, and you have to do stuff with them, so like organize conferences and engage in the projects, as Ella said, because that's the best way to verify these people if they're more than just talk. Because and then you can see if you are the leader or if you're the let's say the worker, right? So that's a good way to verify in, let's say, a sort of a laboratory, also let's say a higher level simulation, because it's a simulation in reality, but let's say you're not dealing with your own family's budget. The second thing, if the negative, I would say, when I teach my e-business course, I speak of filters. I don't convince people to start businesses. I say that obviously, if you have a general idea, you need to, let's say, write out the business, the business model of it. But the most important factor is to analyze the competition, into what sort of world you are entering with your business idea. Because if it's too repetitive, too similar, and let's say your only advantage is potentially competing on price, so then it's very risky, and you may spend a lot of money with no effects. Analyzing the competition helps you to place your idea in the real world, and also you'll see if you're able to find a niche in which you can try to succeed, so that you have this foot in the door to the business world, or this is too hard for you. So these two things, I think, would be good takeaways.
Few but critical. Thank you. You covered a lot. Excellence, uniqueness, mentoring, team building. These are really pillars of a successful business career and growth. Thank you. Now we'll move to something which is very personal, or maybe personal experience. If we could ask you, what were very special activities, actions you undertake during your university career or later, which were critical and fundamental, instrumental in your successful business path? Can you share this with us, Anna?
Yes, sure. I was thinking about that because during the studies, when I was studying, I think that I was not open enough to do other things. But then working with within the corporation, my feeling was that everyone can be a leader. Maybe this is kind of controversial what I'm saying right now, but to be honest, leading, it's not only about being a leader in the organization. I mean, the leader, the manager on the senior position and so on. You can be actually a leader by doing your own initiative. So even taking a role of intern in the organization, in the company, you can lead a small thing, you can lead a project, you can choose your, volunteering project, for example. There is plenty of organization right now doing that, and this is quite, I think, interesting to do something for the society, for the world. But you can also check how you can operate within an environment like that. If you can lead an initiative or a project, even if your role in the organization is not about, leading a people or leading a project, you can just find something for you. And this was actually my case. In the working in a corporation, when I started to feel that something is wrong, I don't feel happy in what I'm doing, I just decided to do something else. And it was a volunteering experience, actually, when I was the one, connecting the people, building a team around me, finding and inventing the ideas, what we can do and for whom. And then through the idea to the execution, we just did it. And I wanted to share with you this story because it doesn't matter what it's about, if this is volunteering in the organization or something else. Trying and experiencing that, it could be very valuable, and you can really check your skills. And when I was talking about skills and that I would do some things differently, I was rather thinking about self-awareness. So by trying different things, you are building self-awareness about what is your strength, right? What is your weakness? And by experiencing that, you can then choose the next step in your career. And also what I wanted to tell you is right now there is plenty of networking events, conferences, webinars that you can just attend online or in person, building your networking, looking at entrepreneurs or just business people, right? What they do, how they do. You can use your LinkedIn profile. Actually, LinkedIn is great platform to also observe other people, how they are doing different things, how they are building their success, but also how they treat their failures. I recognize that there is many of posts on LinkedIn also about our failures, so we can learn from it. And this is my let's say final advice, because I know we are running out of the time, that just use everything what is around you, right? Just look at the opportunities, learn from the others, observe people on LinkedIn, try use LinkedIn as your professional network and build around that. It will give you lots of experiences that are actually very much needed for your business if you decide to start your own, but also to check what's on the market and how to operate on the market.
Thank you. We'll move to Ella, please.
Okay, so when I think about the like personal things that were crucial into getting where I am right now, sorry, it was the fact that we did not rush with starting a business. So we won't agree with Szymon here, but you also need to know these are two separate, equally good paths. Because when I look at myself at the age of 21, oh my God, if I started a business then, it would fail for sure. I'm 100% sure about it. So not everyone is ready at the same time. And the time of my experience, if I was to point just one thing that brought me most value and effects, it would be the project work that I did at during studies, but during my career at the university as well, because the project work allowed me to work with different people, so see myself in different roles, so sometimes being a leader, sometimes not being a leader, but being just a part of the team, taking responsibility, being responsible for delivering things within deadlines, and it also allowed me to meet new people, and one of these people is my business partner right now. So if that was one thing, I would say project work that you can do in different forms, because if you have projects in your studies, sometimes you have your favorite group to work with. Don't do that. Work with different people. Try to switch groups, meet new people, and see how you work with others. Maybe there are some science clubs where you can engage in different projects. Maybe there are some hackathons or other events where you can build the team and try yourself and try your partners as well. If you think about starting a business with somebody, do a project with them. See if they're reliable, if you can really work together, if you like each other really, because if you start a business with somebody, you will spend a lot of time with them. So you really need to like each other. So that would be the one thing that I would advise that really helped my career.
Thank you. Now to Szymon.
So I would recommend during your studies, network as much as possible. Create your initial network. You never know if your colleague who is quiet, one in a corner, might end up as a CEO of some. So that's the first. Secondly, connected to networking is, remember, if you're a student and wanna be entrepreneur, the older generation will see you as, they will more likely chat with you than with somebody in their 30s or 40s, because you're a newcomer. You got those skills that I mentioned before. You listen. Your brain is not fully shaped, so they want to listen to you, give some advice, and take advantage of it. And so, from my perspective, networking and taking advantage of being a student.
Marcin?
I may add that it's also very important to look for the opportunities that are within your reach. When I was a student, the City Hall wasn't as engaged as it is now with various initiatives helping students to get to know the various global companies active in the IT sector, as well as the business services outsourcing sector. So follow us online on Invest in Lublin on LinkedIn. And also you can find our profiles on Facebook, such as Study in Lublin, where information about various initiatives connected with bringing together the academic and the business environment can help you to get to know these companies from within and provide you inspiration for future activities on your own, be it as entrepreneurs or as professionals within these companies.
Thank you. Now we touch something which is quite crucial for our life and growth, which is learning and book reading. Can you share with us which books and authors and titles had profound impact on your career regarding entrepreneurship or personal development? Start with Anna.
Yeah, I will be quick this time because I read a lot and there is no one book, I mean, not only one book that I could recommend, but there is one which is quite important to me. It's not very new. The title is First Break All the Rules, with subtitle What the World's Greatest Managers Do Differently. And this is something that I will recommend, and why? Because this book is around treating every employee as an individual, not trying to fix weaknesses, but rather build on strengths and focusing on talents, and finding the ways to build great relationships. And I believe that relationships and treating all the people in the approach that human is in the center, but also utilizing the newest technologies. Of course, I'm not saying that we should not utilize technologies, but rather thinking about the human in the center of the universe. It's the most crucial, and it will help you to build your career, regardless if you choose the way to work in the corporation organization or you will start your own business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ella?
Okay, I also read a lot, and there's also not one single book that made like a huge difference in my way of thinking. Although I have three examples to share. One book is called Essentialism. It's by Greg McKeown. It's not the perfect book for people who want to be a startupper, because being a startupper means focusing on multitasking, as Anna mentioned, so running different areas. But if you want to be an expert in something, the Essentialism teaches you how to focus on one thing and just get rid of the other things that are only distractors. And this is a good way to be an expert. Second book, it's probably more for our female future founders. It's called Girl Boss by Sofia Amoruso. And it's a story of this lady starting her brand Nasty Gal, which was a huge success in the US, that shows how to overcome different problems that you can encounter, and that basically you can overcome anything if you really want to achieve goals. And the third, I would say, it's like a broad, it's not only a business book, it's the Daniel Kahneman's book about thinking fast and slow, that where you can find lots of tips on how our brain tricks us in different situations. And because of that, we make wrong decisions. So it is a valuable position for your business, but also for your personal life.
Szymon?
I recommend the Startups Owner's Manual. I don't remember who wrote this. It's by Blank and Dorf. It's whole idea around startups and the secrets of Sand Hill Road. This is especially when you're fundraising, it shows you the perspective of venture capitalists. So this might be super useful. It's really well written with lots of examples, and you will understand why they turn your project down. And it's not because it's bad, it's because you don't see the strategy. So I would recommend this.
Thank you. Now, Marcin.
Okay, I think that all these practical manuals can be useful, but it's also good to have a bit of inspiration. And one of, I think, more over the top inspiring books for me personally was The Singularity is Near by Raymond Kurzweil, who basically outlined this idea of exponential growth, but let's say basing it on an analysis of various technological trends. It's something that you have to take with a grain of salt, but these sort of books which speak about the trends going way into the future, potentially like 20 years or something like that, and may try to provide you with some ideas what may be in a few years, can be something that can basically generate dreams for you that you will want to fulfill, because that's one thing that some people, especially academics, may have some ideas, but they don't have the practical skill set that to bring them into practice. So you can try, but then again, I think that you can't overanalyze everything. And if you have too many ideas, then you will not start off from the ground. So that's for me.
Thank you. We still, it's so interesting that I decided not to stop it, but to continue, because you've been sharing so valuable information and experiences that it's really inspiring us here listening. And last but not the least important, it's advice. We need mentors, and I perceive you, what you're doing with us here, and as potential mentors. Mentorship is very important. So looking into this from this mentorship perspective, at the end, if you could tell and share your advice, genuine advice, the most important message you would like to send, very specific, to help young people maybe open the door and maybe have better light into the future, what to do and how to do. Please start from Anne.
Thank you. I think that I shared a lot of advices so far, but just at the end, I wanted to share with you my favorite quote. This is by Jeff Bezos from Amazon. Be stubborn on vision, but flexible on the execution. I really love this quote because it gives me the feeling that whatever I visualize for myself, not only in the business world, I can do it. But if I'm flexible on the way how I'm doing this, and if I'm okay to change the plan during the path that I'm following, I believe everything can be achieved. So this is my final sentence that I would like to share with you as the sentence that really helps me a lot on a daily basis.
Thank you. Ella, please.
Okay, I would like to summarize what we have discussed already with 3 pieces of advice. First of all, gain experience. We've covered this, all of us. So remember to gain experience. When you study, you have plenty of ways to do it. Second thing, that is also from my experience, is partner with people that have the skills that you don't have. So if you are an IT student, most probably you prefer writing code than selling, marketing, and doing other things. So find people who like doing this, just like in our case. Our CTO is programming and 2 of us are doing all the other work so that he can be focused on the things that he does best. And the third thing, remember to tell people what you are doing. When you start a business, don't forget to market it, to talk about it, to present it on LinkedIn, on social network, in other ways. Because if you don't tell people what you're doing, they won't find you. You can hope for somebody to come and see you sitting somewhere in the corner, but you need to be open and talk about it. So remember about marketing and PR for you and your company, because otherwise no one will find you.
Thank you. Szymon.
In my opinion, life is timing. So make sure that you seize the opportunities that you encounter, and let go the opportunities that you think that might be good, but they are not. Learn to kill the projects as soon as possible. It's better to kill the project after a month, even if you invested some time, money, than get stuck in a project for like 10 years and making less than average and burning yourself. And lastly, make sure you create the network. This is something that will open so many doors that's unbelievable. So make sure that you attend the meetings, that you taking advantage of your student status, etc. So please do.
Thank you. Marcin, finally you.
I would say that an important takeaway is to learn to be patient and to verify your, let's say, mental acuity, stability at an early stage. That if you fail at a specific project early on, for instance, a conference done together with your student organization, and you can see that you are able to self-correct, learn from your experience, and move on. So that's an indicator for the future. If you have if you can't really accept this, and your environment, your friends see that you yourself are, let's say, not the best person to work with, so you have to really work on yourself, and before you move on to doing something more serious. So listen to also your friends, your meaningful friends, when they tell you that you are doing something wrong in this case.
I would like to thank you for sharing this in this great summary. Now the thought come to my mind that we should transcribe this recorded meeting and session and make it like a guideline, a little recipe of fundamentals on that, how to make business, how to start business, how to meet people, how to interact with people, how to prioritize. Really, really a great nutshell of essentials in a meaningful way. Thank you for this. But before we finish, let me turn on the camera so you can see our colleagues, students, and yes, you can ask questions. You can add to this, make comment as well. Please share with our guess what you think, maybe what your ideas are. You can come closer and yeah, come. Introduce yourself and
hello.
Yes.
My name is Erdem, and I'm currently studying at school as an informatics major in bachelor degree in English group, and I'm interested with design and coding stuffs. And right now I'm trying to build my own business for the future, and I'm just planning to start it from scratch. And yeah, we are learning a lot from our teacher for the entrepreneurship, and we are so interested about this topic, and it was a great opportunity to get your experience and your advices from this degree, and thank you for that.
Someone else want to add something?
I have a question.
Sure, yes, please.
Greetings, my name is Timur. I'm a software engineer. I have a question. If I have idea, an example, and I want to find an investor, where I can find them? Can
you hear the question? The question was about the investor. What's the best way to find an investor, because he thinks about, he already works on his idea and develops some little project, but looking for an investor is an issue.
Okay, I will say I'm not an expert. We have never applied for any investor grants, so maybe my colleagues.
I can tell you that firstly, build something to show, right? Get some traction, it doesn't have to be in money. Show that there's interest in your product. Show that you can, look, you're a software engineer. If you could convince me to work with you, it shows the investor that you sold your vision to at least one person, right? And again, I have my network, which validates you, okay? If you don't have anything and you don't have your network, it's too early to look for the investor. So you need to build something. You need to gain some initial traction, and then maybe join some acceleration program, something like that. But without the product, you will, unless you're Elon Musk, right? You will not find an investor.
So I need to create some prototype and some presentation to show the idea
and collect some feedback from somebody outside of your family.
Yeah, just to add maybe one thing, there is a lot of incubators, as you mentioned, or business accelerators, or even Google for startups, right? It's something that you can also check in the internet how it works. There is also a community of business founders. Because I mentioned before about networking and different, conferences that you can attend, and also not only search for inspiration, but also search for potential founders or even co-founders. I know one case when during the conference, which is called, I guess, Founder's Mind, there was a real case of two people connecting together and, making then the business, because one guy had an idea and the second one had a great network of some people, to raise some money, and they built the company together. So I just wanted to add this, that you can also check those opportunities.
Thank you.
Someone else wants to ask something?
If I may add, it may be a good idea, especially if you are starting off in Poland, to have a Polish partner who can help you out with especially the legal side, or basically with all the back end stuff, so to say. There's a startup which seems to be quite promising in Lublin, run actually by an African student from UMCS, called Dusatu, which is sort of e-commerce platform and application, the purpose of which is to basically sell African products in the European Union. So the guy has obviously his contacts and knowledge of analytics of the whole African diaspora in Europe, in particular Poland and Germany. But he needed to have somebody who will help him out with, let's say, the Polish legal realities and so on. And as far as I know, he was able to also find an investor from the States. So he already did he's already a few steps ahead in this process. And his main advantage is that what I said, he has easy pitch, something that's easy to say but rather difficult to do. Finding specific products from Africa, legalizing them in the European Union and so on is something that, you know, not everybody off the street will be able to do. So you have to have something like that that you can easily describe, and but it requires quite a bit of effort to actually prepare such a product or service.
Yeah, thank you for these guidelines. At the end of our course, we'll cover fundraising and looking for capital. There are through different tools like teasers, but also contributing to such events like networking involving investors, but also exposing to different funds like Bridge Alpha. It's a very interesting infrastructure and instruments. I used to serve as a member of investment committee on one of the Bridge Alpha projects, where we funded like 30 startups, including Sat Revolution, the first Polish nano satellite put on the orbit. So we'll continue this, but thank you for sharing this. These are good suggestions for how to approach this, and also encouraging that if there is a good idea, there is always a way and source of funding this. So I guess we come to an end. I would like to cordially thank you from the bottom of my heart and the heart of my students that you dedicated so much of your precious time to meet with us. And in particular, I want to thank you for your openness, because one can feel that you're very, very open and very, very enthusiastic. And you have a great career. You built this, you created this, and you demonstrated that investing energy and believing in yourself and being focused and following a path which you establish is like navigating from point A, which is like starting up, to point B, which is the end point, or maybe beginning of something else. So it was fantastic. Thank you for this. We should be doing more of it and sharing. And it was a great experience to me and to our colleagues as well. Thank you very much.